Davy grew up in an Australian city called Adelaide. He was a very insecure kid, slightly pudgy. He was one of those kids who goes to the beach and just wouldn't take their shirts off. He would have to swim with his shirt. But he grew up to get his name on the Australian financial rate list, right under Margot Robbie. He bought his dream home, bought his girlfriend her dream car, and managed to turn $500 to $500 million in just 5 years. And so I'm going to take you through his entire story. Davy had a very supportive family when he was young. They did not only support him emotionally, but also worked incredibly hard to support him financially. After school, Davy would go and watch his parents sell furniture. They had a small furniture business in Adelaide. He would just get to watch them work really hard to put him through school. School had been difficult for him for a very long time. He was told he was stupid at a very young age, especially through primary school, and he believed it. He constantly argued with teachers, constantly getting detentions, and everything was just like it was going downhill. He had a parent-teacher interview when he was in 10th grade. All of his 5 teachers just said that he was incredibly difficult to teach. After that, his parents pretty much had enough. They gave him a choice to either start working hard or they are going to find another school or even just stop supporting him. He felt a deep feeling of shame at that point. Davy knew that there was something within him. He knew he wasn't stupid and that he was intelligent enough to make a good life for himself. But it wasn't until he was scrolling YouTube and came across all of the old Nike commercials. It was mind-blowing to him in every single way. He would watch them and could just feel like he could run through a wall. He watched the Jordan commercial where he talks about how many game-winning shots he has taken and lost. After that moment, he started to pick up that all greatness was just a willingness to work hard and fail. So he knew he needed a plan. He knew he needed to get better grades, get a job, and go to university to make money. He thought university was the right path at that time. He thought that was the path that could make him feel better about himself and maybe achieve greatness, which he didn't actually really know what he was doing, but he knew he wanted something awesome. So he got his first job. He was just moving things around in a warehouse and he was getting minimum wage, which was about $16 an hour. Then he used that money to go to the gym and started to get absolutely obsessed with the gym, which made him feel so much better. He started growing both mentally and physically. Then he got a tutor as well to help him with the subjects he was struggling with. He enrolled in difficult subjects like maths, physics, and chemistry. He knew it was working when 1 year after he decided to change, he had another parent-teacher interview. He had only one teacher that was the same as previously. His teacher said, "In my career, I've never seen a child turn their life around as much as David has this year," which really cemented that he was on the right track. He ended up finishing high school on pretty good grades and getting into mining engineering in the university. He chose mining engineering because he thought it sounded cool and you could go straight into a 6-figure job, which also sounded cool. On his first day of mining engineering, he walked into this huge lecture hall in Adelaide University. He couldn't even see the lecturer. The lecturer was so far away. He was on the big screen and he said, "You are all used to being the smartest in your class. Look to your left, look to your right. Only one of you is going to pass this class." And it turns out that he wasn't one of those people who will pass the class. He hated university. He didn't like the subjects. He was only doing it because he was told he could get 6 figures out of it and it sounded cool. And because there is no structured or forced way of turning up, he didn't rock up at all and ended up failing. One of the reasons why he failed university was because he was just so passionate about business and was just constantly launching new things. He was trying to sell singlets and hats and actually started making a fair bit of money on Instagram. He started an Instagram page where he would go into supplement stores, take photos of supplements, and write reviews on what's good about them. He was able to sell advertising on those Instagram pages too. He started off small. He would make $5, $10 here and there, and it started to grow quickly. He created lots of Instagram accounts. He started selling workouts and nutrition and also was doing cooking recipe and putting those up too. It got to a point he was making 6 figures that he wanted from mining engineering just from Instagram, which felt huge compared to having minimum wage just previously. During the day, he would have 6 burner phones on the bench. People thought he was a drug dealer for a very long time because all the phones would have different accounts on them. He would sell channels all day, working 16 hours a day. He checked his accounts one day and he had about $100,000. That is when he made probably the craziest decision of his life, which led to everything going downhill. He decided to take a lot of that money and try to build a huge food franchise. Dave was really into Vietnamese roll at that stage and thought that there could be a big franchise of that. So he took a lot of the money and set up a shop in this local area where there wasn't really a shop before. 5 a.m. he will wake up, go get bread rolls, and then he will cook pork in the morning. After that, he would just basically work non-stop. He would still do his Instagram during the day, wash dishes at 5 p.m. and head home. He wasn't seeing his friends at all. Food businesses are actually really difficult to make work. He was losing money. Luckily, he did still have his Instagram business, which kind of evolved. He started flipping Instagram, so he would buy them and sell them to other people for a bit of a higher price. He ended up buying an Instagram account from someone. It's probably his biggest buy ever. It cost 40 grand. He bought the Instagram, got all access to it, everything was all sweet. Then it turns out that the account was actually hacked. The original owner was like, this was hacked. Instagram gave back the accounts to the original owner. The scammer already has his $40,000. And he was just left with nothing. That was almost all his money at that time, so he couldn't buy any more Instagrams to flip. His Vietnamese roll shop was going down the drain, and that got him into a very dark place. He started drinking, mentally disoriented, with a lot of bad thoughts. Luckily, his family completely lifted him up out of that, so he knew he needed a new plan. So he packed up, basically gave the shop away and moved to Melbourne, surrounded himself with great people to learn as much as he can about e-commerce and launch a new brand. Hopefully, his brand will make him a millionaire and make him financially free. He started learning photography, videography, Facebook ads, Google ads, and so on. It was an amazing time for him. He learned so much, but he never gave up on launching his own business. So at that time, he launched a seasoning business while he was in Melbourne. So he ordered 6 kilograms of parsley and delivered it to his house at Adelaide. He was constantly flying back from Adelaide to Melbourne because he missed his friends, and his girlfriend ended up spending all his savings. Now he had $0. He was back living with his parents, but the knowledge he had at that time was invaluable. All he needed was a winning product. He was looking for a product everywhere, testing everything, and then he came across this article on Facebook around how weight blankets can help people with sensory disorders or insomnia. Naturally, he wanted to test it out, so he looked into it, and there were so many glowing reviews on forums, and there wasn't that many products out there, especially in Australia. So he decided to commit to it. He decided that this was going to be the product. It was helping people, it could really make a difference, and he definitely thought it was going to work. So he ended up ordering some stock from China. He got one sample initially, so he got his girlfriend and some neighbors and did a photo shoot in the house. He has so many skills from all of his past failures, and that he could launch the store from scratch. He could launch Facebook ads, launch Google ads, and do everything from scratch. To get cash for the business, he decided to sell on pre-sale, which is where you sell stock which isn't actually in the country yet. He's making promises that he's going to ship it at a certain date. So he would take the order, buy the stock, and bring it in. Because he had no idea about what he was doing, he was constantly receiving paperwork to sign. He had no idea it would actually get caught in a custom border hole. It was absolutely devastating for him. The stock was about 5 weeks delayed, and he had about 400 customers waiting. His first 400 customers for his big business were waiting 5 weeks to get their stock. He almost thought he was going to throw away this huge opportunity. But when the products arrived, he did about $200 in the first day, $1,000 in the first week, $10,000 in the second month. Ended up scaling to doing $1.5 million in profit in his first year. From that point, he bought his Range Rover, which was always his goal as a kid. He just couldn't stop smiling with it. He was able to buy his girlfriend her dream car and bought the house that he loved. He gets to travel the world because he just got so many American Express points. So after the launch of Calming Blankets, he launched Hoodie, which took him from earning millions to tens of millions. They now have millions of happy customers. All of the team, the 60 people that work there, love the brand. They are inclusive, fun, and happy. They are making people feel very comfortable in their own home. If you enjoyed this video and find it inspiring, then you might as well check out my video on how Pia Heza made $1 million at the age of 17. Thank you very much for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.